Welcome, folks, to Old Times is Not Forgotten. Today, we're going back to the old time of the 1960s. Oh, look, the milkman has delivered our milk. And here comes that faithful newspaper boy with our morning newspaper. And what part of the newspaper did those 1960s people look for first? Well, of course, it was the television ads. What was going to be on the boob tube? Here's a 1960s lineup for you. Ooh, at 7:30, Rawhide. 8:30, Route 66. 9:30, Father of the Bride. And at 10, 77 Sunset Strip. But these aren't the ones I'm looking for. Here's who I was looking for. These colorful characters from the cast of the original Star Trek. This Old Times is Not Forgotten special is called Star Trek and the 60s. Science drama to debut September 15th. Hollywood science fiction, with the exception of Lost in Space and a few episodes on The Twilight Zone, has failed miserably on television. The overall fault, if one can risk generalization, is twofold. Writers have concentrated on the gimmicks in the storyline rather than the characters and the viewing public. Despite the dawn of the space age several years ago, doesn't seem ready to accept the reality of way out there. Star Trek, an hour-long NBC drama, which will debut Thursday, September 15th at 8:30 p.m., hopes to reverse the failure. Produced by Norway Productions in association with Desilu and the network itself. The locale is billed as the completely self-contained USS Enterprise, a spaceship, and crew entrusted with the mission of cruising around the galaxy, investigating various forms of alien life forms and social systems. The strongest reason viewers may watch is Gene Roddenberry, creator and producer of the series, a tall, lumbering ex-cop from the Southland. He has a strong background of achievement. In 1959, he was the winner of the Writers Guild of America Award, and his television writing and producing credits include Dragnet, The Dick Powell Show, The Lieutenant, and Have Gun Will Travel. It also has two able young actors, William Shatner as the captain of the spaceship and Leonard Nimoy as the chief science officer. Also, Grace Lee Whitney as the female executive officer, a honey-haired actress getting her first television series role. After a sketchy career of bit parts in films and understudy status on the stage. The most memorable feature of 1960s fashion was, of course, the miniskirt. and if one sees a minimum of light panels that always seem to be blazing on TV spaceships, the series will have a better than even chance of succeeding. The devoted science fiction audience in the country alone could guarantee it. The science fiction market, as any science fiction publisher will tell you, is still substantial, and that's an understatement. Besides, if the series doesn't settle for the banal, it can never hope to defeat its competition in the ratings, which includes no less, in its time slot, than Tammy Grimes, My Three Sons, Bewitched, and the beginning of the Thursday night movie. Blast off, anyone?
The Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set with command chair, console, 3 telescreen cards, and 5 Star Trek action figures. Place Mr. Spock or any Star Trek figure into the transporter room. Spin the control knob and press the button. Mr. Spock disappears. Pretend he's left the deck of the Enterprise for outer space adventure. You can capture the Klingon and bring him back to the Enterprise. Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set. Star Trek action figures also sold separately by Mego.
And what was that first episode of Star Trek? Well, the crew of the USS Enterprise is threatened by the presence of a strange creature which induces death by extracting the salt content from its victims in the man trap. Captain Kirk, William Shatner, and his vessel the Enterprise are on a periodic visit in planet M113. Their objective is to give archaeologist Professor Crater and his wife Nancy, also an archaeologist, the regular medical examinations. Here's some rare behind-the-scene footage of Star Trek.
How insensitive. How insensitive I must have seemed when she told me that she loved me. How unmoved and cold I must have seemed when she told me so sincerely.
Did you know Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner, and Nicole Nichols all made albums featuring their Star Trek personas?
In the middle of the earth, in the land of Shire, lives a brave little hobbit whom we all admire. With his long wooden pipe, fuzzy woolly toes, he lives in a hobbit hole and everybody knows him. Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, he's only 3 feet tall. Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all. Now hobbits are peace-loving folks, you know. They're never in a hurry and they take things slow. They don't like to travel away from home. They just like to eat and be left alone. But one day Bilbo was asked to go on a big adventure to the caves below to help some dwarves get back their gold that was...
A lucky haircut. A haircut not only changed DeForest Kelley's looks, but his life. For the past 10 years, I played Western heavies mainly, said Kelley, who portrays Dr. McCoy in Star Trek on NBC Thursdays. About 2 years ago, Gene Roddenberry, the creator and executive producer of the series, considered me for a part and asked if I had any objections to doing my hair differently. I had been wearing it long for Westerns. Roddenberry wanted a brainy, Kennedy look and asked Kelley to go to the J. Sebring, famous Hollywood's men's hairstylist. Some people ask for medical advice, which I cannot give, he said. The fan mail comes from teenagers and adults. I get letters from teachers and professors. People write simply to compliment you on your performance and to thank you. Kelley enjoys the new look and the new life. I've never experienced this before, he said happily.
Far beyond the galaxies, I've journeyed to this place to study the behavior patterns of the human race. And I find them highly illogical. Girl meets boy. They fall in love. She says he's everything she's dreamed of. But when they get married, before he's aware, she changes his habits, the way he combs his hair. She changes him to someone he's never been, and then complains he's not like other men. Now really, I find this most illogical. Take the case of your automobiles. Greatest invention since man discovered wheels.
Star Trek. What did the critics think of it? Star Trek Thursday went Lost in Space one better. Instead of one family, this one has 100 assorted nationalities, with plenty of beautiful girls wandering up and down the corridors of the 10-story spaceship, supposedly in scientific pursuits. Villain in the opener was the creature from another planet, which could paralyze and draw life from anyone it wished. This presented difficulties in the Who's Who category, especially since one scientist wanted to protect the monster, since it is the only creature left of its species, like the buffalo or the homing pigeon.
I left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day, and I never lost 1 minute of sleeping, worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheel, keep on turning, Proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis. I pumped a lot of pain down in New Orleans.
Star Trek, which follows on NBC TV Thursdays, has just the opposite problem. The scripts are good, but the props are terrible. On the second show of the season, Robert Walker guest starred as a young man picked up on a barren planet where he had been stranded since birth, who possesses the power to make men and objects disappear. The show was titled Charlie X. It is good imaginative science fiction, and this one was both produced and written by Gene Roddenberry. Teenage Charlie runs around the spaceship, making people disappear or turning them into lizards. There were times when you wondered if enough characters would be left to round out the show. Walker made his character effectively obnoxious, but he had to play against the obviously faked props of a miniature spaceship floating against a background of painted stars. The interior views apparently were photographed in the elevator lobby of a modern office building.
Swirls and curls of angel hair, and ice cream castles in the air, and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. There rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusion.
Take a look at the 3 main women on Star Trek, the original series.
When the stars were brightly shining, and the faint perfumes the air pervaded reached the gate of the garden, and the footstep its precincts invaded. Was hers the fragrant green clasp me with the sweetest kisses, the tenderest caresses, a thing of beauty, of matchless symmetry, in a form and figure. My dream of love is now dispelled forever. I live on a caring, and now I die despairing. Alas, I die despairing. And never certo mi non evo so dir, non evo. When the stars were brightly shining, and the faint perfumes the air pervaded reached the gate of the garden, and the footstep its precincts invaded. Was hers the fragrant creature?
Be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul.